Now, here's a quick story that a bunch of you guys sent in about a wife and mother who's 41 years old, married for almost 20 years, who definitely gets the A-hole of the Year award for abandoning her husband and children to pursue her dream of being an actress in Hollywood. Title: Am I the A-hole for divorcing my husband to pursue my dreams? And yes, you are. And you'll see real quick, guys, he's been supporting her all these years, but she blames him that she couldn't become an actress and successful and all that. He was holding her back. It says here, so I, a 41-year-old female, have been an actress my entire life. I went to a performing arts high school and graduated from a theater program from my college. And you guys any of you guys that knew any of these theater girls or guys from high school or college, you know what they're like, personality-wise. So this says a lot. At age 22, I started dating my husband. By age 25, I was a married mom. We have a 16-year-old daughter now, a 13-year-old son, and an 11-year-old daughter. Okay, so I didn't hear anything about her being forced to marry him and forced to have not one, not two, but 3 kids. When you're married and have multiple children, it's pretty hard to pursue your dream of becoming an actress and all that. So she wasn't exactly thinking straight early on. My husband started his career as an auditor. Meanwhile, I felt like I was expected by him to be a supporting character in the story of his life. You hear that? The supporting character in the story of his life. So already, she's blaming him, even though, again, nobody forced her to marry him and have a bunch of kids. And also, that the theatrics here, the story of his life. I had to conform to his frame of mind and prop up his vision of how life should be. You knew who he was when you married him. Nobody forced you to marry him, have a bunch of kids, and guess what? What she means is she was expected to take care of the kids. Well, somebody had to pay the bills. You going off and auditioning isn't a steady flow of income, and benefits, insurance and all that, that's important. Insurance, health insurance, medical insurance. So of course, he needed a partner, a teammate in this whole thing. This has included me having to accommodate his long working hours. You mean the hours that paid the bills? Me unable to book last-minute auditions because his clients would flip out if he walked out during meetings to take our kids to the doctors or pick them up from school. I spent my 20s and early 30s trying to pursue acting, but when I landed a part in a commercial or a small speaking role, I could not take the job because my husband said we could not afford a nanny that would allow me to go off to Atlanta or New York for a few weeks at a time or on short notice. Again, this is the life you chose. You chose to marry him. You chose to have multiple kids. If you had stayed single and didn't marry him, then you'd be able to go off whenever you wanted to do these things. You made a choice, and you have responsibilities with the kids. Eventually, all my $400 headshots were just collecting dust, and people kept saying they wished they had a 6-figure earning husband who was climbing the ladder. I'm now 41 years old. My oldest daughter is in acting classes, and she's good. But everybody from her acting school raves about how I look like a Margot Robbie. Don't flatter yourself, honey. You're in your 40s. And driving my daughter to auditions and managing her social media made me realize how much I missed acting. I realized that despite what my husband thinks, this was more than a hobby. My husband was transferred from LA to San Francisco 2 years ago. The kids like San Francisco, but I hate it. Well, I can't blame her on that one for what I hear about San Francisco. The kids are growing up, and my husband is a good dad, but I feel like his work is maintaining the household, is just cooking meals occasionally. Again, he's paying all the bills, providing a life for you, because you, even if you got parts here and there, it's not a steady, consistent flow of income to take care of you and him and the 3 kids. He's not the bad guy here, honey. He just adds a lot to the workload. In addition, now he also does not want our daughter to pursue acting professionally. Well, probably because he realizes that she'll end up spending half her life waiting tables, if she's lucky, trying auditions and all that. He wants something more realistic. I felt my kids would be proud to see me pursue my dreams, and it might encourage my daughter to pursue to be an actress too. My husband and I went to one failed counseling session, and I didn't address the resentment. I ended up subletting a 2-bedroom apartment on the funds from my credit card and filed for divorce. She maxed out her card or took a cash advance on the credit card to get an apartment. Well, where's the money going to come for the future monthly payments? Not very smart, but these theater people aren't exactly... The theater and the arts, those types of people, they tend to be idealists, but aren't exactly grounded with reality, I've noticed. My husband refused to let me take our 2 younger kids with me, but my older daughter insisted on going with me to LA, and my husband tearfully relented. So probably in 2 months, they're going to be living in a cardboard box in Santa Monica, panhandling, because they can't afford to pay the high rent and living expenses down there, and try to get roles. This is so foolish. I thought I was doing the right thing, but my 2 younger kids came to visit, and they are very distant because you abandoned them. What do they expect? And ditched their dad. No accountability. They refused to live with me full time. I've now been going to auditions and networking, and even though it's been only a few months, I feel like I've been set free. But people are asking me to reconsider this divorce. I want to move forward with it, but I'm upset my kids are upset, and that I feel like there's no pressure on me to book a job where it'll be all for nothing. But even if I don't book jobs, I'm doing what I love to do, and I get to support my daughter to act in a way I was never supported. Am I the a-hole? You are a giant a-hole. You're a giant a-hole with a bow on your head. Okay? I got no problem people going for their goals and dreams. I'm all for that. Chasing new challenges, climbing new mountaintops. I'm all for that. But you got to be practical here, and you can't abandon your responsibilities. You chose to marry your husband. You chose to have multiple kids, not 1, not 2, but 3. You need to be realistic. He was the one with the job, career, that paid the bills for you to eat, to have a roof over your head, and for your kids. And you're making him out to be the bad guy because, yeah, he had issue because he couldn't go running out of a meeting, which would cause him to be fired and lose his job, just like you can go out get a commercial. Come on here. And making him out to be the bad guy here. Yes, you didn't get to do what you wanted, but then you made the adult decision to marry him and have kids. You could wait until your youngest ones are old enough that they've graduated high school, and then you can go do something with yourself. Believe me, there are actors and actresses whose careers didn't take off. Sometimes they're in their 50s or 60s. It is possible. But you don't just abandon your husband and kids for this whole thing. And now you've got your daughter in high school. Yeah, maybe she has some talent, and now she's living with you. Split from her family, split from her dad, and I mean, come on here. But it never ceases to amaze me, the lack of accountability and how selfish some people can be. And again, in my opinion, the husband should be like, "Hey, go, we're done." But I wouldn't allow the 16-year-old daughter to be with her because it's unstable environment. But who knows how that whole thing will play out. But an a-hole, yeah, you're the giant a-hole. And I'm willing to bet you guys that this woman, like a lot of stories I cover, in a matter of time, when she obviously doesn't have significant money coming in and all that, she'll be back begging that guy to take her back because she can't pay her bills and it's a big giant mess. But those kids are going to be screwed up because their mother abandoned them, right? I mean, the biggest selfish a-hole definitely of the year goes to this woman here. So, gentlemen, learn. You relationship guys, you got a gal that is like this, that mentality. Pay attention to the red flags. You do not want to end up with someone like this. You are the a-hole, honey.